When a narcissist becomes jealous and angry at you, they are rarely capable of feeling real love, but their capacity for deep-seated hatred is immense and driven by a specific purpose. They recognize that they cannot become you. They see your brilliance, your natural ability to connect with and attract people, and the fact that they cannot steal that light from you is the foundation of their intense envy. Because of this, they attempt to mimic you, tarnish your reputation, isolate you from others, and make you doubt your own self-worth. Their inability to offer genuine affection means they will often abandon you when you need them most, treating you with a chilling lack of compassion. Welcome back to the Narcissist Revealed channel. In today's episode, we are going to explore 2 key behaviors that narcissists exhibit as a result of their profound jealousy. If you find our insights valuable, please subscribe to the channel. Your support could truly be a lifeline for someone currently in need. Narcissists possess a destructive mindset. They have a tendency to destroy what they cannot possess and to seize what they covet. This toxic approach fuels all of their actions. Their jealousy manifests as a toxic form of envy, turning them into spiteful, destructive forces. While jealousy is a common human emotion, narcissists experience it on an entirely different level. They transform their envy into anger, becoming exceptionally cruel, vindictive, and harsh. The first way this manifests is that they mirror your image. When a narcissist sets their sights on being like you, their first move is to mimic you. They adopt your demeanor, your habits, and your personal style in a desperate attempt to capture the success and admiration you have earned through your own hard work. Because they lack the foundational skills or the genuine talent to sustain the level of achievement you have, they resort to copying your clothes, your way of speaking, and your body language. They often go as far as pursuing the exact same job at the same company. It is an astonishing and surreal experience, yet it happens frequently. Ironically, they will never commend you for the things they imitate. You will notice the mimicry, but they will remain completely silent about it. Their goal is to undermine your self-esteem. Despite their deep desire to emulate you, they want to strip you of your confidence. Sometimes they even change their names to further blur the lines between who they are and who you are. While this sounds like something taken from a movie script, it is a very real experience for many survivors. This behavior can leave you feeling paralyzed and traumatized as your identity is slowly usurped by someone else. The emergence of this new version of you can be deeply disorienting and distressing. The person you once considered a friend slowly morphs into a warped version of you, ingratiating themselves with your circle of friends and colleagues while you find yourself increasingly isolated. Damage unfolds gradually, often becoming apparent only when it is too late to repair it. By that time, they may have already tarnished your reputation, painting you as unstable or alienating influential figures like your boss. Their insatiable envy drives them to destroy your sense of self and your happiness just to fill the void within themselves. The second way they express this is by unleashing their fury. When a narcissist's jealousy finally boils over, their anger becomes evident. This happens once they feel they no longer need to maintain a facade of niceness. When the parasite is ready to abandon its host, they unleash their full wrath, leaving you feeling battered and immobilized. As soon as they exit your life, you may find it incredibly difficult to reclaim your sense of self. They attempt to strip away your natural talents and skills, making you question your worth. They dim your light, lower your self-esteem, and distort your self-perception, leaving you riddled with doubt. They aim to prevent you from ever starting over. Even if you aspire to find a new job, embark on a fresh venture, or form new relationships, their manipulation and betrayal have you second-guessing every move you make. Despite your clear qualifications and abilities, you begin to feel undeserving. You become convinced that partnerships and friendships are doomed to fail, making it incredibly hard to trust yourself and others. This constant fear of attack can lead to severe isolation and even a sense of agoraphobia. Narcissists live by a very specific philosophy of coming, seeing, and conquering. They view you not as a person with feelings, but as an obstacle to be overcome. The moment you cease to be useful to them, you become their enemy. Someone once described it by saying that to a narcissist, You are only as good as your last mistake. This perfectly encapsulates their transactional and performance-based mindset. Now it is time to bring this part of our discussion to a close. Have you suffered betrayal at the hands of a narcissist? Please share your story in the comments, and we will discuss it next time. Until then, let the healing continue. Welcome back, everyone, to the channel. Today, we are delving into a topic that may leave some of you scratching your heads. Why do narcissists occasionally display acts of kindness or generosity? It is a puzzling question, but with narcissists, nothing is ever straightforward. So, why do they actually do it? Well, like everything else in their repertoire, it is all part of a strategic playbook. Today, we will uncover the primary reason behind a narcissist's seemingly generous or helpful gestures, even though their true intentions are far from sincere. If you are feeling perplexed, particularly if you are currently entwined with a narcissist, please know that you are not alone. The truth is that the closer you are to them, the less they actually prioritize your well-being. So, if you find yourself consistently receiving the short end of the stick while others seem to bask in their favor, it could be a telltale sign that you are dealing with a covert narcissist. But let us not waste any more time. Today, we will explore 4 main reasons why narcissists display these niceties, and believe me, it is entirely about what is in it for them. It is essential to grasp that beneath that veneer of confidence, narcissists actually harbor deep-seated fears. Yes, you heard that correctly. They are driven by fears. These fears strike at the very core of their ego, leaving them feeling vulnerable. When confronted with these fears, narcissists will stop at nothing to evade them, whether it entails cutting off all communication or orchestrating a complex smear campaign. They will employ every tactic in their arsenal. So, what is their greatest dread? It is the daunting prospect of you walking away and bidding them farewell without a backward glance. That is their worst nightmare realized. Reflect on your own experiences in a relationship with a narcissist. Recall how they desperately tried to prevent you from leaving. Even after you summoned the courage to walk away, they would come crawling back, pleading for another chance. Why are they so petrified of your departure? It is because to them, it is more than just you exiting the scene. It is an outright rejection, and that is something they simply cannot handle. They crave your unwavering presence regardless of the circumstances. So, when you finally see through their facade and decide to depart, it is as if their entire world crumbles around them. Deep down, they are aware of the toxicity of their own behavior, despite their constant attempts to conceal it. This awareness is significant because it indicates that their actions are not arbitrary. They are intentional with a very clear objective in mind. Let us take a moment to ponder how these individuals lure us into these relationships, subtly convincing us to remain even amidst constant turmoil. For narcissists, someone leaving signifies a personal rejection, which is a glaring indication that they are no longer desired or needed. That is a very harsh reality for them to confront. They yearn for our steadfast companionship, even if they are fundamentally incapable of fostering a healthy relationship. Hence, they will employ every tactic imaginable to prevent our departure or to coax us back once we have walked away. But here is the twist. If we have inflicted what is termed a narcissistic injury, essentially if we have wounded or exposed them in a significant manner, then reconciliation becomes inconceivable. They are simply too humiliated to entertain the notion of reconciliation. The prospect of failing to win us back terrifies them. In fact, it is not merely a fear, it is their ultimate dread. It is the fear that we will see through their facade, opt to leave for good, and divulge their true nature to others. It is akin to opening Pandora's box for them, representing a total revelation and a terrifying sense of vulnerability. And here is the kicker. Narcissists thrive on the validation they receive from those in their orbit. If people start catching on to their true nature and unraveling their schemes, they will no longer be doling out the praise and admiration that the narcissist so desperately craves. Let me tell you that validation is their lifeblood. They simply cannot function without it. When someone decides to finally cut ties with a narcissist, it hits them right in the gut. It is like reopening old wounds from their past when they felt abandoned and emotionally neglected. Back then, they could not quite comprehend why it hurt so much, but it definitely stung. That is why they go to such great lengths to prevent you from leaving or from seeing through their facade. It is like shining a bright spotlight on their deepest fears and past traumas, which are things they would much rather keep buried deep down. They are fully aware of their actions, but they are trapped in a cycle they cannot seem to escape. Changing their behavior would mean not getting exactly what they want, and that is simply not an option for them. Why would they bother fixing something that they do not perceive as broken? Having their needs met is everything to a narcissist. It is like the ultimate quest for the acceptance, love, and attention they missed out on during their own formative years. So, naturally, they are fixated on ensuring those specific needs are fulfilled at all costs. It is as if their entire world revolves around that single pursuit. It might sound hard to believe that something seemingly insignificant could have such a profound impact on them, but trust me, it is a big deal. That deep ache from their past is like a ghost haunting them well into adulthood, driving almost every action they take. They are on an endless quest to fill that inner void, and it colors every single aspect of their existence. To truly understand the mystery of narcissists, you have to dig deep into the hidden corners of their minds. Their entire life revolves around trying to fill these gaps left behind from their childhood, such as a desperate hunger for acceptance, love, and constant attention. Every move they make is fueled by this relentless need to satisfy these fundamental cravings. While it might seem confusing from an outsider's point of view, I assure you it is vital for understanding their behavior. One thing that sends them into a complete tailspin is the fear of their exes exposing who they really are. They are terrified that someone will eventually see through their carefully constructed facade and spill all of their secrets. Even with this constant anxiety, they cannot seem to break free from their old, destructive patterns. It is as if their past holds them captive, acting like a puppeteer, controlling their every move as they chase after the validation they never received enough of in their early years. Narcissists often come across as lost souls who are just drifting through life without any clear sense of identity. It is crucial to understand that they view the world through a lens completely different from the rest of us. Their reality is a distorted one, shaped largely by their own unresolved trauma and an insatiable ego. You might wonder why they continue to engage in these repetitive, harmful behaviors, but for them, it is simply baked into their very being. Their actions are rooted in deep wounds from the past. At their core, all they really want is for you to stay by their side forever, constantly showering them with unwavering love and praise. But let us be honest, reality is not a fairy tale. Sometimes you have to recognize when it is time to walk away, especially if staying only keeps the harm going rather than leading to any kind of healing. For a narcissist, facing rejection or abandonment is like reliving their absolute worst nightmares from childhood. It drags up those old wounds that never truly healed, casting a dark shadow over even the most mature individuals. At the heart of every single thing they do lies a desperate, relentless pursuit of getting a reaction out of other people and securing constant validation. It is as if they are following a meticulously crafted playbook, with every maneuver designed specifically to manipulate you and extract whatever they want. And what they want is actually quite simple. They crave the fulfillment of every single whim and fancy they have. Take a moment to really think about that. Their entire strategy is built around winning people over or snaring them into a web of deceit. Their approach is usually covered in illusions, and they are incredibly skilled at reflecting back whatever image they think you want to see. This distorts your reality and leaves you questioning your own sanity. But why go to the trouble of using such smoke and mirrors? The answer lies back in that fear of exposing their true selves. What happens if you reject them or see through the mask? They simply cannot handle the thought of that kind of rejection. So they choose the safer route of projecting a false personality tailored specifically to your expectations. Each interaction becomes a gamble for them as they desperately hope to be seen as nothing short of extraordinary. However, even the slightest hint of doubt triggers a flurry of effort to make sure you see them in the exact light they desire. When you look beneath the surface, you begin to see the true complexity of their behavior. It all stems from a deep-seated fear of rejection, combined with those unmet childhood needs that continue to dictate their choices well into their adult lives. These needs remain the primary driving force behind everything they do, shaping their relationships in profound and often damaging ways. Narcissists are masters of adaptation, constantly morphing their personalities to mirror yours in a calculated effort to trap you. They tend to target people who are naturally compassionate and patient, banking on the idea that these people will remain loyal through thick and thin. This strategy creates a very distorted kind of bond where your kindness becomes their main source of sustenance. They thrive on this dynamic like parasites at a feast, using your empathy to fuel their own vitality. Because that connection is their greatest source of power. Their biggest fear is losing it. They will go to almost any length to keep their hold on you. Not because they care about you, but because you act as their personal wellspring of energy. When they come back to you, pleading for another chance, it is not because they missed your companionship as a person. Instead, it is a calculated move to extract even more benefits from you. In the eyes of a narcissist, people are just tools, instruments that are entirely devoid of their own needs and emotions. Their focus stays fixed solely on what they can take from you, completely lacking any capacity for empathy or a genuine connection. Therefore, if you find that you are currently entangled with a narcissist, it is incredibly important to recognize this truth. There is no hope for a sudden, miraculous transformation. They are deeply entrenched in these behaviors and are largely immune to changing just because of wishful thinking. Embracing this stark reality is the only way to break free from their toxic influence and finally reclaim control over your own life. As we wrap this up, it is clear that navigating a relationship with a narcissist is immensely challenging due to those deep-seated fears and unfulfilled needs that guide their every move. Understanding their motivations is a huge help when it comes to handling these interactions. It is crucial to acknowledge that there is only a very slim likelihood of any significant change in a narcissist. Genuine love and respect, things that are often completely missing in narcissistic relationships, are fundamental rights that everyone deserves. Your interest in exploring the complexities of narcissism is truly valued. If you found this discussion helpful, please show your support by liking, sharing, and subscribing to our channel. Your engagement is what allows us to keep spreading these important insights. Always remember that knowledge is what empowers us to navigate our relationships more effectively. Let us continue on this journey of learning and empathy together. Additionally, do not forget to check out the resources we have provided in the description, including a free book and details about one-on-one consultations to further support you. Thank you for giving us your time today, and we wish you nothing but health and well-being. Take care until we meet again. Picture yourself encountering someone whose presence alone sends a shiver down your spine, like an icy chill creeping up your back. They might not be actively doing anything overtly harmful at the moment, yet their energy feels somehow dark and sinister, urging you to flee the situation. If you can relate to this unsettling scenario, you should brace yourself, because you might be dealing with a truly malevolent person. Today, we are going to dive into the elusive world of identifying the 10 telltale signs of genuine malevolence. Be prepared, because these signs are not always as obvious as they might seem. The first sign is that they actually revel in the misfortunes of others. Bringing a malevolent presence into your social circle can quickly turn everything toward the negative. These individuals thrive on reshaping your perspective, painting the world in dark colors where they believe failure is inevitable. Their enjoyment comes from watching other people stumble, and they are usually waiting eagerly for the next fall. Even worse, they often actively work to sabotage your own path to success, putting up obstacles just to ensure that you eventually fail. The second sign is that their aura simply gives off an eerie feeling. When you meet someone who constantly puts out these unsettling vibes, you should pay close attention to the warning signs. Emotional energy has a way of lingering, casting a shadow over all your interactions. Our own intuition is built to pick up on this. It serves as an internal compass that guides us away from toxic energies. You should trust those instincts when they warn you about someone who unsettles your soul. The third sign is that their words are essentially a tapestry of lies. While we all might tell a small white lie every now and then to keep social situations running smoothly, malevolent people weave complex webs of total falsehoods just to gain an advantage. Lies seem to flow effortlessly from them, and they use these stories to inflate their own egos and improve their status in the eyes of others. Their made-up narratives create a vivid but completely fake portrait of their lives, and they do not hesitate to tarnish the reputations of others in the process. Their moral compass is fundamentally broken, and they truly do not care about the damage they leave behind with their tall tales. The fourth sign is that they carry an aura of extreme self-importance. In the world of manipulation, these individuals often hide behind a mask of perfection, fueled by a firm belief that they are infallible. They really struggle to admit when they are wrong or to accept that anyone else might have a valid point. Their ego just cannot handle the idea of being imperfect, so they constantly maintain the belief that every word they speak and every action they take is flawless. It is as if they live in their own little world where they are the only ones who are right and everyone else is perpetually mistaken. Because their identity is tied to this idea of perfection, admitting a fault feels like a total attack on their worth, so their pride blocks them from ever taking accountability or fixing their mistakes.